News? The best. Thought I might be late. It was a little trickier than I expected. But I hope he will be satisfied.
Yaxley! Snape! You are very nearly late. Severus, here, Yaxley, beside Dolohov. So,
My lord, the Order of the Phoenix intends to move Harry Potter from his current place of safety on Saturday next, at nightfall.
Saturday at nightfall. Good. Very good. And this information comes
From the source we discussed.
My lord, I have heard differently. Dawlish, the Auror, lets slip that Potter will not be moved until the 30th, the night before the boy turns 17.
My source told me that there are plans to lay a false trail. This must be it. No doubt a confundus charm has been placed upon Dawlish. I assure you, Yaxley, the Auror office will play no further part in the protection of Harry Potter. The Order believes that we have infiltrated the Ministry.
The Order's got one thing right then, eh?
My lord, Dawlish believes an entire party of Aurors will be used to transfer the boy.
Where are they going to hide the boy next?
At the home of one of the Order. The place, according to the source, has been given every protection that the Order and Ministry together could provide. I think that there is little chance of taking him once he is there, my lord. Unless, of course, the Ministry has fallen before next Saturday, which might give us the opportunity to discover and undo enough of the enchantments to break through the rest.
Well, Yaxley, will the Ministry have fallen by next Saturday?
My lord, I have good news on that score. I have, with difficulty and after great effort, succeeded in placing an imperious curse upon pious thickness.
It is a start, but thickness is only one man. Scrimgeour must be surrounded by our people before I act. One failed attempt on the Minister's life will set me back a long way. At any rate, it remains unlikely that the Ministry will be mine before next Saturday. If we cannot touch the boy at his destination, then it must be done while he travels.
We are at an advantage there, my lord. We now have several people planted within the Department of Magical Transport. If Potter apparates or uses the Flu network, we shall know immediately.
He will not do either. The Order is eschewing any form of transport that is controlled or regulated by the Ministry.
All the better. He will have to move in the open. Easier to take by far. I have been careless, and so have been thwarted by luck and chance, those wreckers of all but the best laid plans. But I know better now. I understand those things that I did not understand before. I must be the one to kill Harry Potter, and I shall be. Wormtail, have I not spoken to you about keeping our prisoner quiet? Yes, my lord. As I was saying, I understand better now. I shall need, for instance, to borrow a wand from one of you before I go to kill Potter. No volunteers? Let's see. Lucius, I see no reason for you to have a wand anymore.
My lord,
Your wand, Lucius. I require your wand.
I...
What is it?
Helm, my lord.
And the core?
Dragon heartstring.
Good. Why do the Malfoys look so unhappy with their lot? Is my return, my rise to power, not the very thing they profess to desire for so many years?
Of course, my lord. We did desire it. We do, my lord.
It is an honor to have you here in our family's house.
There can be no higher pleasure.
No higher pleasure. That means a great deal, Bellatrix. Even compared with the happy event that I hear has taken place in your family this week.
I don't know what you mean, my lord.
I'm talking about your niece, Bellatrix. And yours, Lucius and Narcissa. She has just married the werewolf, Remus Lupin. You must be so proud.
She is no niece of ours, my lord. We, Narcissa and I, have never set eyes on our sister since she married the mudblood. This brat has nothing to do with either of us, nor any beast she marries.
What say you, Draco? Will you babysit the cubs? Enough! Do you recognize our guest, Severus?
Severus! Help me!
Ah, yes. And you, Draco? But you would not have taken her classes. For those of you who do not know, we are joined here tonight by Charity Burbage, who, until recently, taught at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Not content with corrupting and polluting the minds of wizarding children, last week Professor Burbage wrote an impassioned defense of mudbloods in the Daily Prophet. Wizards, she says, must accept these thieves of their knowledge and magic. The dwindling of the purebloods is, says Professor Burbage, a most desirable circumstance. She would have us all mate with muggles, or, no doubt, werewolves.
Albus Dumbledore Remembered by Elphius Doge. I met Albus Dumbledore at the age of 11 on our first day at Hogwarts. Our mutual attraction was undoubtedly due to the fact that we both felt ourselves to be outsiders. I had contracted dragon pox shortly before arriving at school, and while I was no longer contagious, my pockmarked visage and greenish hue did not encourage many to approach me. For his part, Albus had arrived at Hogwarts under the burden of unwanted notoriety. Scarcely a year previously, his father, Percival, had been convicted of a savage and well-publicized attack upon 3 young muggles. Albus never attempted to deny that his father, who was to die in Azkaban, had committed this crime. 3 years after we had started at Hogwarts, Albus's brother, Aberforth, arrived at school. They were not alike. Aberforth was never bookish and, unlike Albus, preferred to settle arguments by dueling rather than through reasoned discussion. In fairness to Aberforth, it must be admitted that living in Albus's shadow cannot have been an altogether comfortable experience. Being continually outshone was an occupational hazard of being his friend, and cannot have been any more pleasurable as a brother. When Albus and I left Hogwarts, we intended to take the then traditional tour of the world together. However, tragedy intervened. On the very eve of our trip, Albus's mother, Kendra, died, leaving Albus the head and sole breadwinner of the family. I postponed my departure long enough to pay my respects at Kendra's funeral, then left for what was now to be a solitary journey. With a younger brother and sister to care for, and little gold left to them, there could no longer be any question of Albus accompanying me. Immersed in my own experiences, it was with horror that I heard, toward the end of my year's travels, that yet another tragedy had struck the Dumbledores, the death of his sister, Ariana. All those closest to Albus, and I count myself one of that lucky number, agree that Ariana's death and Albus's feeling of personal responsibility for it, though of course he was guiltless, left their mark upon him forevermore. Other quills will describe the triumphs of the following years. Dumbledore's innumerable contributions to the store of wizarding knowledge, including his discovery of the 12 uses of dragon's blood, will benefit generations to come, as will the wisdom he displayed in the many judgments he made while Chief Warlock of the Wizengamot. They say still that no wizarding duel ever matched that between Dumbledore and Grindelwald in 1945. Those who witnessed it have written of the terror and the awe they felt as they watched these two extraordinary wizards do battle. Dumbledore's triumph and its consequences for the wizarding world are considered a turning point in magical history to match the introduction of the International Statute of Secrecy, or the downfall of He Who Must Not Be Named. Dumbledore, the truth at last? Coming next week, the shocking story of the flawed genius considered by many to be the greatest wizard of his generation. Stripping away the popular image of serene, silver-bearded wisdom, Rita Skeeter reveals the disturbed childhood, the lawless youth, the lifelong feuds, and the guilty secrets that Dumbledore carried to his grave. Why was the man tipped to be Minister of Magic content to remain a mere headmaster? What was the real purpose of the secret organization known as the Order of the Phoenix? How did Dumbledore really meet his end? The answers to these and many more questions are explored in the explosive new biography, The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore, by Rita Skeeter, exclusively interviewed by Betty Braithwaite, page 13, inside. Well, of course, Dumbledore is a biographer's dream, says Skeeter. Such a long, full life. I'm sure my book will be the first of very, very many. Skeeter was certainly quick off the mark. Her 900-page book was completed a mere 4 weeks after Dumbledore's mysterious death in June. I mentioned the recent widely publicized remarks of Elphius Doge, special advisor to the Wizengamot and long-standing friend of Albus Dumbledore's, that Skeeter's book contains less fact than a chocolate frog card. Darling Dodgy. I remember interviewing him a few years back about mer-people rights, bless him. Completely gaga, seemed to think we were sitting at the bottom of Lake Windermere. The advance publicity for Skeeter's biography has certainly suggested that there will be shocks in store for those who believe Dumbledore to have led a blameless life. What were the biggest surprises she uncovered, I ask. Now, come off it, Betty. I'm not giving away all the highlights before anybody's bought the book, laughs Skeeter, but I can promise that anybody who still thinks Dumbledore was white as his beard is in for a rude awakening. Let's just say that nobody hearing him rage against you-know-who would have dreamed that he dabbled in the dark arts himself in his youth. Yes, Albus Dumbledore had an extremely murky past, not to mention that very fishy family which he worked so hard to keep hushed up. I ask whether Skeeter is referring to Dumbledore's brother, Aberforth, whose conviction by the Wizengamot for misuse of magic caused a minor scandal 15 years ago. No, it's the mother and the sister that intrigued me, and a little digging uncovered a positive nest of nastiness. But, as I say, you'll have to wait for chapters 9 to 12 for full details. All I can say now is, it's no wonder Dumbledore never talked about how his nose got broken. But the importance of some of Dumbledore's achievements cannot, I venture, be denied. What of his famous defeat of Grindelwald? Oh, now I'm glad you mentioned Grindelwald, says Skeeter with a tantalizing smile. I'm afraid those who go dewy-eyed over Dumbledore's spectacular victory must brace themselves for a bombshell, or perhaps a dung bomb. Skeeter refuses to give any more away on this intriguing subject, so we turn instead to the relationship that will undoubtedly fascinate her readers more than any other. "Oh yes," says Skeeter, nodding briskly. "I devote an entire chapter to the whole Potter-Dumbledore relationship. It's been called unhealthy, even sinister. Again, your readers will have to buy my book for the whole story, but there is no question that Dumbledore took an unnatural interest in Potter from the word go. Whether that was really in the boy's best interests, well, we'll see. It's certainly an open secret that Potter has had a most troubled adolescence." I ask whether Skeeter is still in touch with Harry Potter, whom she so famously interviewed last year. A breakthrough piece in which Potter spoke exclusively of his conviction that you-know-who had returned. "Oh yes, we've developed a close bond," says Skeeter. "Poor Potter has few real friends, and we met at one of the most testing moments of his life, the Tri-Wizard Tournament. I am probably one of the only people alive who can say that they know the real Harry Potter." Which leads us neatly to the many rumors still circulating about Dumbledore's final hours. Does Skeeter believe that Potter was there when Dumbledore died? Well, I don't want to say too much, it's all in the book. But eyewitnesses inside Hogwarts Castle saw Potter running away from the scene moments after Dumbledore fell, jumped, or was pushed. Potter later gave evidence against Severus Snape, a man against whom he has a notorious grudge. Is everything as it seems? That is for the wizarding community to decide, once they've read my book. On that intriguing note, I take my leave. There can be no doubt that Skeeter has quilled an instant bestseller. Dumbledore's legions of admirers, meanwhile, may well be trembling at what is soon to emerge about their hero.
Oi, you! Boy! Get down here! I want a word! Sit down, please. I've changed my mind. What a surprise. Don't you take that tone. I've decided I don't believe a word of it. We're staying put. We're not going anywhere. According to you, we are in danger from some of my lot, right? Well, I don't believe it. I was awake half the night thinking it all over, and I believe it's a plot to get the house. The house? What house? This house. Are you out of your mind? A plot to get this house? Are you actually as stupid as you look? Just in case you've forgotten, I've already got a house. My godfather left me one, so why should I want this one? All the happy memories? You claim that this Lord thing, Voldemort, and we've been through this about 100 times already. This isn't a claim, it's fact. Dumbledore told you last year, and Kingsley and Mr. Weasley explained it all as well. Once I'm 17, the protective charm that keeps me safe will break. And that exposes you as well as me. The Order is sure Voldemort will target you, whether to torture you to try and find out where I am, or because he thinks by holding you hostage, I'd come and try to rescue you. You've got to go into hiding, and the Order wants to help. You're being offered serious protection, the best there is. I thought there was a Ministry of Magic. There is. Well then, why can't they protect us? It seems to me that as innocent victims, guilty of nothing more than harbouring a marked man, we ought to qualify for government protection. We think the Ministry has been infiltrated, but Hestia Jones and Daedalus Diggle are more than up to the job. If we'd ever seen CVs, these accidents aren't accidents. The crashes and explosions and derailments and whatever else has happened since we last watched the news, people are disappearing and dying, and he's behind it. Voldemort. I've told you this over and over again. He kills muggles for fun. Even the Fogs. They're caused by Dementors, and if you can't remember what they are, ask your son. There are more of them. More? More than the 2 that attacked us, you mean? Of course there are. There are hundreds, maybe thousands by this time, seeing as they feed off fear and despair. All right, you've made your point. I hope so, because once I'm 17, all of them, Death Eaters, Dementors, maybe even Inferi, which means dead bodies enchanted by a dark wizard, will be able to find you and will certainly attack you. And if you remember the last time you tried to outrun wizards, I think you'll agree you need help. But what about my work? What about Dudley's school? I don't suppose those things matter to a bunch of layabout wizards. Don't you understand? They will torture and kill you like they did my parents. Dad, I'm going with these Order people. Dudley, for the first time in your life, you're talking sense. They'll be here in about 5 minutes. We're leaving soon, really soon, and then you'll be able to fly again. Harry Potter, an honor, as ever. Thanks, Daedalus. It's really good of you to do this. They're through here, my aunt and uncle and cousin. Good day to you, Harry Potter's relatives. I see you are packed and ready. Excellent. The plan, as Harry has told you, is a simple one. We shall be leaving before Harry does, due to the danger of using magic in your house. Harry, being still underage, it could provide the Ministry with an excuse to arrest him. We shall be driving, say, 10 miles or so, before disapparating to the safe location we have picked out for you. You know how to drive, I take it? Know how to... Of course I ruddy know how to drive. Very clever of you, sir. Very clever. I personally would be utterly bamboozled by all those buttons and knobs. Can't even drive. You, Harry, will wait here for your guard. There's been a little change in the arrangements. What do you mean? I thought Mad Eye was going to come and take me by side-along apparition. Can't do it. Mad Eye will explain. We are attempting to time your departure from the house with your family's disapparition, Harry. Thus, the charm breaks at the moment you all head for safety. Well, are we all packed and ready to go? Perhaps we should wait outside in the hall, Daedalus. There's no need. Well, this is goodbye, then. Come along, then. I don't understand. Why isn't he coming with us? What? Why isn't he coming too? Well, he doesn't want to. You don't want to, do you? Not in the slightest. There you are. Now, come on, we're off. What now? But where's he going to go? But surely you know where your nephew is going? Certainly we know. He's off with some of your lot, isn't he? Right, Dudley, let's get in the car. Off with some of our lot? It's fine. It doesn't matter, honestly. Doesn't matter? Don't these people realize what you've been through? What danger you are in? The unique position you hold in the hearts of the anti-Voldemort movement? No, they don't. They think I'm a waste of space, actually. But I'm used to. I don't think you're a waste of space. Well, thanks, Dudley. You saved my life. So sweet, Dudders. Such a lovely boy saying thank you. But he hasn't said thank you at all. He only said he didn't think Harry was a waste of space.
Yeah, but coming from Dudley, that's like, I love you.
Are we going or not? I thought we were on a tight schedule. Yes, we are. We really must be off. Harry, good luck. I hope we meet again. The hopes of the wizarding world rest upon your shoulders. Farewell, Harry. Our thoughts go with you.
Blimey, Dudley. Did the Dementors blow a different personality into you?
Dunno. See ya, Harry.
Yeah, maybe. Take care, Big D. Well, goodbye. Don't you want to take a last look at the place? We'll never be here again. Don't you want to remember all the good times?
All right, Harry. Ready for the off?
Change of plan. Let's get under cover before we talk you through it. Kingsley, I thought you were looking after the Muggle Prime Minister.
He can get along without me for one night.
Harry, guess what? You got married! I'm sorry you couldn't be there, Harry. It was very quiet. As Daedalus probably told you, we had to abandon Plan A. Pious Thickness has gone over, which gives us a big problem. He's made it an imprisonable offense to connect this house to the Flu network. Place a port key here or apparate in or out. All done in the name of your protection, to prevent you-know-who getting in at you. Absolutely pointless, seeing as your mother's charm does that already. What he's really done is to stop you getting out of here safely. Second problem, you're underage, which means you've still got the trace on you. If you or anyone around you casts a spell to get you out of here, Thickness is going to know about it. We can't wait for the trace to break, because the moment you turn 17, you'll lose all the protection your mother gave you. In short, Pious Thickness thinks he's got you cornered good and proper. So, what are we going to do? We're going to use the only means of transport left to us. The only ones the trace can't detect, because we don't need to cast spells to use them. Brooms, Thestrals, and Hagrid's motorbike. The one thing we've got on our side is that you-know-who doesn't know we're moving you tonight. We've leaked a fake trail to the Ministry. They think you're not leaving until the 30th. However, this is you-know-who we're dealing with, so we can't just rely on him getting the date wrong. He's bound to have a couple of Death Eaters patrolling the skies in this general area, just in case. So, we've given a dozen different houses every protection we can throw at them. They all look like they could be the place we're going to hide you. They've all got some connection with the Order. My house, Kingsley's place, Molly's Auntie Muriel's, you get the idea. Yeah, you'll be going to Tonk's parents. Once you're within the boundaries of the protective enchantments we've put on their house, you'll be able to use a port key to the burrow. Any questions? Yes. Maybe they won't know which of the 12 secure houses I'm heading for at first, but won't it be sort of obvious once 14 of us fly off toward Tonk's parents? I forgot to mention the key point. 14 of us won't be flying to Tonk's parents. There will be 7 Harry Potters moving through the skies tonight, each of them with a companion, each pair heading for a different safe house. No way. I told them you'd take it like this. If you think I'm going to let 6 people risk their lives because it's the first time for all of us, this is different. Pretending to be me. You can't do it if I don't cooperate. You need me to give you some hair. Well, that's that plan scuppered. Obviously, there's no chance at all of us getting a bit of your hair unless you cooperate.
If it has to come to force, then it will. Everyone here's overage, Potter, and they're all prepared to take the risk. Let's have no more arguments. Time's wearing on. I want a few of your hairs, boy, now. Right then, fake Potters line up over here, please. As I've already told you, any Death Eaters we run into will be aiming to capture Potter, not kill him. Dumbledore always said you know who would want to finish Potter in person. It'll be the Protectors who have got the most to worry about. The Death Eaters will want to kill them. All together, then. Good. The pairs will be as follows. Mundungus will be travelling with me by broom. Why am I with you? Because you're the one that needs watching. Arthur and Fred. The other one, George, you're with Remus. Miss Delacour, I'm taking Fleur on a Thestral. She's not that fond of brooms. Miss Granger with Kingsley, again by Thestral. Which leaves you and me, Ron. We think the Death Eaters will expect you to be on a broom. Snape's had plenty of time to tell them everything about you he's never mentioned before. So if we do run into any Death Eaters, we're betting they'll choose one of the Potters who look at home on a broomstick. All right then. Come on. All right then. Everyone ready, please. I want us all to leave at exactly the same time or the whole point of the diversion's lost. Good luck, everyone. See you all in about an hour at the Burrow. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hagrid's fine, son. The wife's seeing to him now. How are you feeling? Anything else broken? I've fixed your ribs, your tooth, and your arm. I'm Ted, by the way. Ted Tonks, Dora's father. Voldemort. Easy now. That was a nasty crash you just had. What happened, anyway? Something go wrong with the bike? No. Death Eaters. Loads of them. We were chased. Death Eaters? What do you mean, Death Eaters? I thought they didn't know you were being moved tonight. I thought they knew. Well, we know our protective charms hold then, don't we? They shouldn't be able to get within 100 yards of the place in any direction. Harry! Blimey, Harry. How did you get out of that? I thought we were both goners. What happened to our daughter? Hagrid said you were ambushed. Where is Nymphadora? I don't know. We don't know what happened to anyone else. The portkey. We've got to get back to the Burrow and find out. Then we'll be able to send you word. Or Tonks will, once she's... Dora will be okay, Dromeda. The portkey's through here.
It's supposed to leave in 3 minutes, if you want to take it.
Yeah, we do. I'll tell Tonks, Dora, to send word when she... Thanks for patching us up. Thanks for everything.
There you go, son. That's the portkey.
Harry, you are the real Harry? What happened? Where are the others?
What do you mean? Isn't anyone else back? The Death Eaters were waiting for us. We were surrounded the moment we took off. They knew it was tonight. I don't know what happened to anyone else. 4 of them chased us. It was all we could do to get away. And then Voldemort caught up with us.
Thank goodness you're all right.
Mom? What creature sat in the corner the first time that Harry Potter visited my office at Hogwarts? Answer me. A Grindylow in a tank, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Harry, but I had to check. We've been betrayed. Voldemort knew that you were being moved tonight, and the only people who could have told him were directly involved in the plan. None of the Order would have told Voldemort we were moving tonight. Voldemort only caught up with me toward the end. He didn't know which one I was in the beginning. If he'd been in on the plan, he'd have known from the start I was the one with Hagrid. Voldemort caught up with you? What happened? How did you escape? Harry explained briefly how the Death Eaters, pursuing them, had seemed to recognize him as the true Harry, how they had abandoned the chase, how they must have summoned Voldemort, who had appeared just before he and Hagrid had reached the sanctuary of Tonks's parents. They recognized you? But how? What had you done? I saw Stan Shunpike, and I tried to disarm him instead of... Well, he doesn't know what he's doing, does he? He must be imperious. Harry, the time for disarming is past. These people are trying to capture and kill you. At least stun, if you aren't prepared to kill. We were hundreds of feet up. Stan's not himself, and if I stunned him and he'd fallen, he'd have died the same as if I'd used Avada Kedavra. Expelliarmus saved me from Voldemort 2 years ago. Yes, Harry, and a great number of Death Eaters witnessed that happening. Forgive me, but it was a very unusual move then, under imminent threat of death. Repeating it tonight in front of Death Eaters who either witnessed or heard about the first occasion was close to suicidal. Expelliarmus is a useful spell, Harry, but the Death Eaters seem to think it is your signature move, and I urge you not to let it become so.
The last words Albus Dumbledore spoke to the pair of us. Harry is the best hope we have. Trust him. Somebody betrayed us. Who else is back?
Only Harry, Hagrid, George and me. What happened to you?
Followed by 5 injured, 2 might have killed 1. And we saw you-know-who as well. He joined the chase halfway through, but vanished pretty quickly. Remus, he can fly. I saw him too. So that's why he left. To follow you. I couldn't understand why he'd vanished. But what made him change targets?
Harry behaved a little too kindly to Stan Shunpike.
But what happened to you, Remus? Where's George?
He lost an ear. Snape spoiled. He lost his hood during the chase. Sectum Sempra was always a speciality of Snape's.
How is he?
You'll be able to tell us apart now anyway, Mum.
Pyjamas! You're okay. Ron was great, wonderful, stunned one of the Death Eaters straight to the head, and when you're aiming at a moving target from a flying broom, are we the last back? No, we're still waiting for Bill and Fleur and Mad-Eye and Mundungus. I'm going to tell Mum and Dad you're okay, Ron. I'm going to have to get back to Downing Street. I should have been there an hour ago. Let me know when they're back. Thank you for our sons. Don't be silly, Molly. Bill, thank God, thank God. Mad-Eye is dead. We saw it. It happened just after we broke out of the circle. Mad-Eye and Down were close by us. They were heading north, too. Voldemort, he can fly, went straight for them. Down panicked. I heard him cry out. Mad-Eye tried to stop him, but he disapparated. Voldemort's curse hit Mad-Eye full in the face. He fell backward off his broom, and there was nothing we could do, nothing. You told me the problem would be solved by using another's wand! No, no, I beg you, I beg you. You lied to Lord Voldemort, Ollivander. You sought to help Potter, to help him escape me. I did not. I swear I did not. Explaining what happened. Lucius's wand is destroyed. I cannot understand. The connection exists only between your two wands. Lies! Please! I beg you! Harry, come back in the house. You aren't still thinking of leaving? Yeah, you got to stay, mate. Are you all right? You look awful. Well, I probably look better than Ollivander. Ron and Hermione seem to think that the three of you are dropping out of Hogwarts. May I ask why you are abandoning your education? Well, Dumbledore left me stuff to do. What sort of stuff? I'm sorry, I can't... Well, frankly, I think Arthur and I have a right to know. And I'm sure Mr. and Mrs. Granger would agree. Dumbledore didn't want anyone else to know, Mrs. Weasley. I'm sorry. Ron and Hermione don't have to come. It's their choice. I don't see that you have to go either. Harry, you must have misunderstood him. Probably he was telling you something he wanted done and you took it to mean that he wanted you. I didn't misunderstand. It's got to be me. I think Mum thinks that if she can stop the three of you getting together and planning, she'll be able to delay you leaving. And then what does she think's going to happen? Someone else might kill off Voldemort while she's holding us here making vol au vent. So it's true, that's what you're trying to do. I was joking. We must decide how you will be disguised, Harry, for the wedding. Of course, none of our guests are Death Eaters, but we cannot guarantee that they will not let something slip after they have had champagne. Yes, good point.
No news about Mad-Eye?
Nothing.
The Daily Prophet hasn't said a word about him dying or about finding the body. But that doesn't mean much. It's keeping a lot quiet these days. And they still haven't called a hearing about all the underage magic I used escaping the Death Eaters? Because they know I had no choice? Or because they don't want me to tell the world Voldemort attacked me? The latter, I think. Scrimgeour doesn't want to admit that you-know-who is as powerful as he is, nor that Azkaban's seen a mass breakout.
Now, Ron, have you cleaned out your room yet?
I can help. Some of it's my mess.
No, Harry dear. I'd much rather you helped Arthur muck out the chickens. And Hermione, I'd be ever so grateful if you'd change the sheets for Monsieur and Madame Delacour. You know they're arriving at 11 tomorrow morning.
Hi, Harry. And how did you manage to get away?
Oh, Ron's mum forgot that she asked Ginny and me to change the sheets yesterday. We were just talking about Mad-Eye. Even if the killing curse missed, Mad-Eye still fell about 1,000 feet. Well, all right, if you want him to be dead. The Death Eaters probably tied it up after themselves. That's why no one's found him.
Yeah, like Barty Crouch, turned into a bone and buried in Hagrid's front garden. They probably transfigured Moody and stuffed him.
Don't!
Oh no, Hermione, I wasn't trying to upset. It's just so awful, isn't it? Right after Dumbledore. I just never imagined Mad-Eye dying. Somehow he seems so tough.
Yeah, I know. But you know what he'd say to us if he was here?
Constant vigilance.
That's right. He'd tell us to learn from what happened to him. And what I've learned is not to trust that cowardly little squit Mundungus. What are you doing with all those books anyway?
Just trying to decide which ones to take with us when we're looking for the Horcruxes. Listen, I know you said after Dumbledore's funeral that you wanted to come with me.
We're coming with you. That was decided months ago. Years, really.
Are you sure you've thought this through?
Let's see. I've been packing for days, so we're ready to leave at a moment's notice, which, for your information, has included doing some pretty difficult magic. I've also modified my parents' memories so that they're convinced they're really called Wendell and Monica Wilkins, and that their life's ambition is to move to Australia, which they have now done. That's to make it more difficult for Voldemort to track them down and interrogate them about me, or you, because unfortunately I've told them quite a bit about you. Assuming I survive our hunt for the Horcruxes, I'll find Mum and Dad and lift the enchantment. If I don't, well, I think I've cast a good enough charm to keep them safe and happy. Wendell and Monica Wilkins don't know that they've got a daughter. You see.
Hermione, I'm sorry, didn't realize that Ron and I know perfectly well what might happen if we come with you. Ron, show Harry what you've done.
Oh, all right. Harry, come here.
That's your ghoul, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But it looks... Do ghouls normally wear pyjamas. No, nor have they usually got red hair or that number of pustules. He's me, see? No. I'll explain it back in my room. The smell's getting to me. Once we've left, the ghoul's gonna come and live down here in my room. He's gonna be me with Spattergroit. Hopefully, it'll look like I've gone away with Mum and Dad. A lot of Muggleborns are talking about going into hiding at the moment. We can't hide my whole family. It'll look too fishy, and they can't all leave their jobs. So, we're going to put out the story that I'm seriously ill with Spattergroit. Spattergroit's really contagious, so they're not going to want to go near him. What we really need to decide is where we're going after we leave here. I know you said you wanted to go to Godric's Hollow first, Harry, and I understand why, but, well, shouldn't we make the Horcruxes our priority? If we knew where any of the Horcruxes were, I'd agree with you. And once we get hold of it, how do you destroy a Horcrux? Well, I've been researching that. How? I didn't think there were any books on Horcruxes in the library. How in the name of Merlin's pants have you managed to get your hands on those Horcrux books? Well, it was easy. I just did a summoning charm, you know, Accio, and they zoomed out of Dumbledore's study window right into the girls' dormitory. It warns in this book how unstable you make the rest of your soul by ripping it, and that's just by making one Horcrux. Isn't there any way of putting yourself back together? Yes, remorse. So, does it say how to destroy Horcruxes in that book? Yes. From all that I've read, what Harry did to Riddle's diary was one of the few really foolproof ways of destroying a Horcrux. But even if we wreck the thing it lives in, why can't the bit of soul in it just go and live in something else? Because a Horcrux is the complete opposite of a human being. The fragment of soul inside it depends on its container, its enchanted body for survival. It can't exist without it. The bit of soul in that diary was possessing Ginny, wasn't it? How does that work then? While the magical container is still intact, the bit of soul inside it can flit in and out of someone if they get too close to the object. I don't mean holding it for too long. It's nothing to do with touching it. I mean close emotionally. I wonder how Dumbledore destroyed the ring. Papa! Oi, wake up! You were muttering in your sleep. Gregorovitch! You kept saying Gregorovitch! I think Voldemort's looking for him. You reckon you were seeing into his mind again? Do me a favour and don't tell Hermione. Well, happy birthday, anyway! Wow, that's right. I forgot. Accio glasses. I'm 17! Arthur told me to wish you a happy 17th, Harry. That's our present on top. It's traditional to give a wizard a watch when he comes of age. Happy birthday, Harry! It's not much, but I hope you like it. I'll pack these for you. I'm nearly done. I'm just waiting for the rest of your underpants to come out of the wash, Ron. Harry, will you come in here a moment? Happy 17th. Yeah, thanks. I couldn't think what to get you. I didn't know what would be useful. Nothing too big, because you wouldn't be able to take it with you. So then I thought, I'd like you to have something to remember me by. You know, if you meet some Vila when you're off doing whatever you're doing. I think dating opportunities are going to be pretty thin on the ground, to be honest. There's the silver lining I've been looking for. Oh, Ron? Sorry. Well, happy birthday anyway, Harry. You ditched her. What are you doing now, messing her around? I'm not messing her around. Ron, she was really cut up when you ended it. So was I. You know why I stopped it, and it wasn't because I wanted to. Yeah, but you go snogging her now, and she's just going to get her hopes up again. She's not an idiot. She knows it can't happen. She's not expecting us to end up married, or... If you keep groping her every chance you get, it won't happen again. Okay? Right, then. Happy birthday, Harry. Thanks.
17, eh? 6 years to the day since we met. Here, Harry. Couldn't think what to get you, but then I remembered this. Mokeskin. Hide anything in there, and no one but the owner can get it out.
Hagrid, thanks. I think we'd better start without Arthur. He must have been held up at... Oh!
Minister of Magic coming with me.
We shouldn't be here. Harry, I'm sorry. I'll explain another time. The minister? But why?
Sorry to intrude, especially as I can see that I am gate-crashing a party. Many happy returns.
Thanks.
I require a private word with you. Also with Mr. Ronald Weasley and Miss Hermione Granger.
Us? Why us?
I shall tell you that when we are somewhere more private. I have some questions for the three of you, and I think it will be best if we do it individually.
We're not going anywhere. You can speak to us together, or not at all.
Very well, then. Together. I am here, as I'm sure you know, because of Albus Dumbledore's will. A surprise, apparently. You were not aware, then, that Dumbledore had left you anything?
Or all of us?
Yes, all of... Dumbledore died over a month ago.
Why has it taken this long to give us what he left us? Isn't it obvious? They wanted to examine whatever he's left us. You had no right to do that. So why have you decided to let us have our things now? Can't think of a pretext to keep them? No, it'll be because the 31 days are up. They can't keep the objects longer than that unless they can prove they're dangerous, right?
Would you say you were close to Dumbledore, Ronald?
Me? Not really. It was always Harry who...
If you were not very close to Dumbledore, how do you account for the fact that he remembered you in his will?
I dunno. When I say we weren't close, I mean, I think he liked me. You're being modest, Ron. Dumbledore was very fond of you.
The last will and testament of Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. Yes, here we are. To Ronald Bilious Weasley, I leave my Deluminator, in the hope that he will remember me when he uses it. Why would he have left you an item so rare?
Put out lights, I suppose. What else could I do with it?
To Miss Hermione Jean Granger, I leave my copy of The Tales of Beedle the Bard, in the hope that she will find it entertaining and instructive. Why that particular book?
I don't know. He must have thought I'd enjoy it.
Did you ever discuss codes, or any means of passing secret messages?
No, I didn't. And if the Ministry hasn't found any hidden codes in this book in 31 days, I doubt that I will.
To Harry James Potter, I leave the snitch he caught in his first Quidditch match at Hogwarts as a reminder of the rewards of perseverance and skill. Why did Dumbledore leave you this snitch?
No idea, for the reasons you just read out, I suppose.
I notice that your birthday cake is in the shape of a snitch. Why is that?
Oh, it can't be a reference to the fact Harry's a great seeker. That's way too obvious. There must be a secret message from Dumbledore hidden in the icing.
I don't think there's anything hidden in the icing. But a snitch would be a very good hiding place for a small object. You know why, I'm sure.
Because snitches have flesh memories. What?
A snitch is not touched by bear skin before it is released, not even by the maker who wears gloves. It carries an enchantment by which it can identify the first human to lay hands upon it in case of a disputed capture. This snitch will remember your touch, Potter. It occurs to me that Dumbledore, who had prodigious magical skill, whatever his other faults, might have enchanted this snitch so that it will open only for you. Take it. That was dramatic. Dumbledore left you a second bequest, Potter. The sword of Godric Gryffindor. Unfortunately, that sword was not Dumbledore's to give away. The sword of Godric Gryffindor is an important historical artifact, and, as such, belongs...
It belongs to Harry.
Was it because Dumbledore believed that only the sword of Godric Gryffindor could defeat the heir of Slytherin?
Has anyone ever tried sticking a sword in Voldemort? Maybe the Ministry should put some people onto that, instead of wasting their time stripping down Deluminators or covering up breakouts from Azkaban. People are dying. I was nearly one of them. Voldemort chased me across 3 counties. He killed Mad-Eye Moody. But there's been no word about any of that from the Ministry, has there? Oi!
Remember that I am not Dumbledore, who forgave your insolence and insubordination. It's time you learned some respect.
It's time you earned it.
We ought to be working together.
I don't like your methods, Minister. Remember? That was the one you nearly swallowed. Writing. There's writing on it. Quick, look! I open at the close. The Tales of Beedle the Bard. I've never even heard of them. Oh, come on! All the old kids' stories are supposed to be Beedles, aren't they?
Hello, Harry.
My name's Barney.
Oh, have you changed that too?
How did you know?
Oh, just your expression. You look smart. I told Daddy most people would probably wear dress robes, but he believes you ought to wear sun colours to a wedding for luck, you know.
What is xenophilius Lovegood wearing? And who are you?
Oh yeah, Auntie Muriel. This is our cousin Barney.
Another Weasley. You breathe like gnomes. Isn't Harry Potter here? I was hoping to meet him. I thought he was a friend of yours, Ronald. Or have you merely been boasting?
No, he couldn't come.
Well, find me a good seat, Ronald. I'm 107, and I ought not to be on my feet too long.
Wow, you look great. What was the tone of surprise?
You look wonderful.
Victor! How come you're here? Fleur invited me. Time to sit down, or we're gonna get run over by the bride.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here today to celebrate the union of 2 faithful souls. Do you, William Arthur, take Fleur Isabel?
Who's that man in the yellow? That's Xenophilius Lovegood. He's the father of a friend of ours. Come and dance. Ah, they are together now? Who are you, Barney Weasley? You, Barney, you know this man Lovegood well? If he was not a guest of Fleur's, I would duel him, here and now, for wearing that filthy sign upon his chest. Sign? Why? What's wrong with it? That is Grindelwald's sign. Grindelwald? The dark wizard Dumbledore defeated? Exactly. Grindelwald killed many people. My grandfather, for instance. Of course, he was never powerful in this country. They said he feared Dumbledore. And rightly, seeing how he was finished. But this is his symbol. I recognized it at once. Grindelwald carved it into a wall at Durmstrang when he was a pupil there. Some idiots copied it onto their books and clothes. Well, there's a chance that Xenophilius doesn't actually know what the symbol means. The Lovegoods are quite Gregorovich. What about him? He's a wand maker. He made your wand. That's why I thought Quidditch. So, where is Gregorovich these days? He retired several years ago. I was one of the last to purchase a Gregorovich wand. They are the best, although I know, of course, that you Britons set much store by Ollivander. May I sit down?
Of course, of course.
Mr. Doge, I'm Harry Potter.
My dear boy, Arthur told me you were here, disguised. I am so glad, so honored.
I saw the obituary you wrote for the Daily Prophet. I didn't realize you knew Professor Dumbledore so well. I don't know whether you saw the interview Rita Skeeter gave about Dumbledore.
Oh, yes, Harry, I saw it. That woman, or vulture might be a more accurate term, positively pestered me to talk to her. Harry, Rita Skeeter is a dreadful... What were you saying about Rita Skeeter, Alpheus? You know, she's written a biography of Dumbledore. Before he became so respected and respectable and all that tosh, there were some mighty funny rumours about Albus. Ill-informed sniping. Ah, we all know you worship Dumbledore. I dare say you'll still think he was a saint, even if it does turn out that he did away with his squib sister. Muriel.
What do you mean?
The reason Albus never spoke about Ariana, I should have thought quite clear. He was so devastated by her death. Why did nobody ever see her, Alpheus? Why did half of us never even know she existed until they carried the coffin out of the house and held a funeral for her? Where was saintly Albus while Ariana was locked in the cellar, off being brilliant at Hogwarts? Dumbledore's mother was a terrifying woman, Muggle-born. Though I heard she pretended otherwise. She never pretended anything of the sort. Kendra was a fine woman, proud and very domineering, the sort of witch who would have been mortified to produce a squib. Ariana was not a squib. Now, if Kendra hadn't died first, I'd have said that it was she who finished off Ariana. You were at Ariana's funeral, were you not? Yes, I was. And a more desperately sad occasion I cannot remember. Albus was heartbroken. His heart wasn't the only thing. Didn't Aberforth break Albus's nose halfway through the service? My mother was friendly with old Bathilda Bagshot,
said Auntie Muriel happily.
Bathilda described the whole thing to Mother while I was listening at the door. A coffin-side brawl. The way Bathilda told it, Aberforth shouted that it was all Albus's fault that Ariana was dead, and then punched him in the face.
But even if Batilda's completely cuckoo, I'm sure she'd still have old photographs. Maybe even letters. She knew the Dumbledores for years. Well worth a trip to Godric's Hollow, I'd have thought.
Batilda Bagshot lives in Godric's Hollow?
Oh, yes, she's been there forever. The Dumbledores moved there after Percival was imprisoned, and she was their neighbour.
The Dumbledores lived in Godric's Hollow?
Yes, Barry, that's what I just said.
I simply can't dance anymore. Harry, are you okay?
The Ministry has fallen. Scrimger is dead.
They are coming. Where are we? Tottenham Court Road. We need to find somewhere for you to change. Hermione, we haven't got anything to change into. It's okay. I've got the cloak. I've got clothes for both of you. Undetectable extension charm. Anyway, I managed to fit everything we need in here. Come on. I think we ought to keep moving. Just as a matter of interest, why Tottenham Court Road? I've no idea. It just popped into my head. But I'm sure we're safer out in the Muggle world. It's not where they'll expect us to be.
True. But don't you feel a bit exposed?
Where else is there? We can hardly book rooms at the Leaky Cauldron, can we? And Grimmauld Place is out if Snape can get in there. I suppose we could try my parents' house, though I think there's a chance they might check there. Let's sit down somewhere. Please, Harry, get that cloak on. Look, this will do. In here. You know, we're not far from the Leaky Cauldron here. It's only in Charing Cross. Ron, we can't. Not to stay there, but to find out what's going on. We know what's going on. Voldemort's taken over the Ministry. What else do we need to know? Okay, it was just an idea. I say, we find a quiet place to disapparate and head for the countryside. Once we're there, we could send a message to the Order. Can you do that talking Patronus thing then? I've been practicing, and I think so. Let's get going then. I don't want to drink this muck. Hermione, have you got Muggle money to pay for this? Yes, I took out all my building society savings before I came to the Burrow. Stupefy! Expulso! Petrificus totalus! I should have recognized him. He was there the night Dumbledore died. That's Dolohov. Never mind what they're called. How did they find us? What are we going to do? Lock the door. And Ron, turn out the lights. What are we going to do with them? We just need to wipe their memories. You're the boss. But I've never done a memory charm. Nor have I. But I know the theory. Obliviate. Brilliant. Take care of the other one and the waitress while Ron and I clear up. But how did they find us? How did they know where we were?
You don't think you've still got your trace on you, do you, Harry? He can't have. The trace breaks at 17. That's wizarding law. We need a safe place to hide. Give us time to think things through. Grimmauld Place. Don't be silly, Harry. Snape can get in there. Ron's dad said they've put up jinxes against him, and even if they haven't worked, so what? I swear I'd like nothing better than to meet Snape. But, Hermione, where else is there? It's the best chance we've got. Snape's only one Death Eater. If I've still got the trace on me, we'll have whole crowds of them on us wherever else we go. Severus Snape? We're not Snape. No! No, it wasn't us. We didn't kill you. Hominum Revelio. What was that supposed to do? That was a spell to reveal human presence, and there's nobody here except us. Let's go up.
Bloods, filth, stains of dishonour, taint of shame on the house of my fathers.
Shut up! Can't see anyone out there. And you'd think if Harry still had a trace on him, they'd have followed us here. I know they can't get in the house, but...
Ouch!
What's up, Harry? What did you see? Did you see him at my place? No. I just felt anger. He's really angry. Your scar again? But what's going on? I thought that connection had closed. It did, for a while. I think it started opening again whenever he loses control. But then you've got to close your mind. Harry, Dumbledore didn't want you to use that connection. He wanted you to shut it down. Family safe. Do not reply. We are being watched. They're all right. They're all right. Bathroom. More, Raoul! Or shall we end it and feed you to Nagini? Lord Voldemort is not sure that he will forgive this time. You called me back for this? To tell me that Harry Potter has escaped again? Draco, give Raoul another taste of our displeasure. Do it, or feel my wrath yourself.